let's start with this. Tim, why the Spurs?
2 words, Victor Wembanyama. If you have Victor Wembanyama on your team, you have a chance to win a championship. And that's what this whole list was about. How close are you to winning a title?
What do you get when you put together the league's top defender, a blazing fast all-star guard, and the reigning rookie of the year?
Castle gets it back. Football. Oh, nice move by Castle. Blowing right.
What happens when you take the league's best defender, add a lightning-quick all-star guard, the reigning rookie of the year, and the number 2 overall pick in the draft? You get a team that's about to shake up the entire Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs. Last season, the Spurs finished 13th in the West and missed the playoffs for the 6th straight year. On the surface, that record looks bad. But don't be fooled. This was not the same struggling Spurs team of the past. After back-to-back 22-win seasons, they leapt to 34 wins, tying their best mark in the last 6 years. The stats back up the improvement. Offensive rating, 113.5, 19th in the NBA. Defensive rating, 116.3, 25th. Net rating, -2.8, 22nd overall. Not elite, but definitely progress. And when Victor Wembanyama was on the court, San Antonio went 21-25. Without him, just 13-23. Add to that the late season injury to De'Aaron Fox, and it's easy to see how close this team was to playing .500 basketball if they'd simply been healthy. The biggest setback wasn't even on the court. After 29 legendary seasons, Greg Popovich stepped down due to a medical emergency. Losing a Hall of Fame coach like Pop could have destroyed most franchises, but not this one. Even without Wemby, without Fox, and without Pop, the Spurs still delivered their most improved season in years. Now, as they head into the 2025-26 campaign, Pop is officially gone, but what's rising in San Antonio might just be the most dangerous young core in basketball. And it all starts with Wemby. 2 years into his hype career, Victor Wembanyama is no longer a project. He's a problem, one the rest of the league is struggling to solve. With better health and a stronger supporting cast, he's already entering the conversation as a top 10 player, maybe even top 5. In fact, ESPN's top 100 rankings placed Wemby at number 5 heading into this season, behind only Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Some argue that ranking is too high, too soon. And maybe it is. But the potential is undeniable. Just look at the numbers. Wemby played 46 of the team's first 52 games before shoulder blood clots shut him down. Yet in that stretch, he still put up 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.1 steals, and 3.8 blocks per game. That's not a future star. That's already a superstar in the making.
Pass the ball out to the corner. There you go.
In just his second season, Victor Wembanyama wasn't just good. He was great. He earned his first All-Star selection and quickly became the clear favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. The truth? He was already making a legitimate case as a top 5 player in the entire NBA. At the very least, he laid the foundation for it. And now, with more help around him and another year of growth, that foundation is starting to look like full-blown dominance. The numbers tell the story. With Wemby on the floor, the Spurs went 21-25. Without him, 13-23. His value wasn't just obvious, it was overwhelming. Individually, he was even scarier. Only 20 players scored more points per game. Just 7 grabbed more rebounds. And absolutely nobody blocked shots at his level. That's 3 of the NBA's 5 most important statistical categories, where Wemby was flat out elite. Combine that with being the league's best defender and at worst a top 20 offensive weapon, and you got a player who's already knocking on the door of the top 5. Yes, his season ended early due to a blood clot. But by July, doctors cleared him with a clean bill of health. Instead of taking it slow, he doubled down. Wemby spent 10 days training at a Shaolin temple in China, grinding both body and mind. He worked with Kevin Garnett to bring more aggression and intensity to his game. Then he studied under Hakeem Olajuwon, learning the legendary footwork and post moves that defined the dream for 2 decades. Now at just 21 years old, Wembanyama is healthy, motivated, and armed with new weapons. Heading into year 3, he's ready to unleash what could easily be his most dominant season yet. And when I say dominant, I don't just mean better than his first 2 seasons. I'm talking about following the precedent set by other generational superstars in their 3rd year. Think about it. In year 3, Michael Jordan came off a broken foot that cost him 64 games. He returned with a vengeance, averaging 37 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and nearly 2 blocks across all 82 games. In year 3, LeBron James exploded with 31 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block per game, finishing second in MVP voting. Neither of those guys were considered all-time greats until their 3rd season, when everything clicked. And now Wemby is standing at that exact same threshold. If you don't believe Wembanyama is already great, you might as well believe the earth is flat, because some things are undeniable. And here's the scariest part. Neither Jordan nor LeBron had a running mate like De'Aaron Fox in year 3.
Barnes getting his first minutes off the Magic bench. Nice spin by Fox, fading away, falling down and putting it in.
Neither Michael Jordan nor LeBron James had a reigning Rookie of the Year by their side in year 3. Neither had a supporting cast as deep or as versatile as the San Antonio Spurs have right now. And sure, it's the Western Conference. It's loaded, it's brutal, and it's a war zone every single night. But here's the difference. Other teams might have an army. The Spurs? They've got an alien, and the organization knows it. Early on, the plan was patience. Let Victor Wembanyama develop at his own pace. But the moment he hit the floor, he changed the pace himself. Now, the expectation isn't to slowly grow into greatness. It's to cement himself as the league's best defender, continue expanding his offensive arsenal, and most importantly, lead San Antonio back into the postseason. That's a massive bar for any 21-year-old. But when you're already a top 10 player in the NBA, it's more than realistic. For the first time in his young career, Wemby finally has the co-star to make that leap possible, De'Aaron Fox. Despite some early speculation after drafting number 2 pick Dylan Harper, the Spurs never wavered on Fox being their guy. Even though injuries cut his Spurs debut short, just 17 games played after the trade, he flashed exactly why the front office immediately locked him up to a max extension. In that small stretch, Fox averaged 19.7 points, 6.8 assists, 4.3 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 threes while showing instant chemistry with Wemby. Now fully healthy, after an off-season building alongside his new teammate, Fox enters the 2025-26 season primed to form one of the NBA's deadliest two-man duos. The pick and roll has always been his bread and butter. Back in 2022-23, Fox ran 8.4 pick and roll possessions per game, scoring 1.02 points per possession, 6th best out of 35 high-volume guards. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis thrived as his partner, averaging 1.33 points per possession as the roll man, most of them off Fox passes. Together, they powered one of the league's most efficient offenses. But as good as Sabonis was, Fox now has the ultimate partner in Wembanyama. Sabonis could slip screens and finish strong. Wemby can slip, roll, pop, or stretch the defense out to the three-point line and then cover half the court in one stride. His sheer length and agility turn every pick and roll into a nightmare for opposing defenses. The sample size from last season was too small to draw real conclusions, just 46 possessions between them, producing 0.82 points per possession. Respectable, but far from their ceiling. With a full training camp, a clean bill of health, and the spacing San Antonio has built around them, this duo is positioned to dominate. And if that connection truly clicks, the Spurs won't just be a young, exciting team anymore. They'll be a serious problem for the entire Western Conference.
You want to talk about a cheat code? That's just downright
What happens when you combine a 7 feet 5 inches alien who breaks the game, one of the fastest point guards in the league, a reigning Rookie of the Year, and a number 2 overall pick? You get the San Antonio Spurs of the 2025-26 season, a team that's no longer rebuilding, but ready to take the West by storm. Last year, the Spurs finished 13th in the Western Conference, missing the playoffs for the 6th straight season. But don't let that record fool you. This was a much better team than the standings suggest. After back-to-back 22-win campaigns, San Antonio jumped to 34 wins, tied for their best mark in the last 6 years. The advanced numbers prove it. Offensive rating, 113.5, 19th in the NBA. Defensive rating, 116.3, 25th. Net rating, minus 2.8, 22nd overall. Not elite, but clearly a step forward. And the difference maker was Victor Wembanyama. With Wemby on the floor, the Spurs went 21-25. Without him, they slid to 13-23. Then De'Aaron Fox went down late in the year, and any shot at a .500 pace disappeared. And yet, the Spurs still showed resilience, even without Wemby, Fox, or Hall of Fame coach Greg Popovich, who stepped aside after 29 legendary seasons due to a medical emergency. Most franchises would have collapsed under that kind of hit. San Antonio didn't. Instead, they managed their most improved season in years. Now Pop is gone, but something new is rising. The NBA's most dangerous young core. Heading into 2025-26, the Spurs are locked, loaded, and ready to leap. The alien ascends. 2 years into his career, Wemby isn't a project anymore. He's a problem. He was an all-star in year 2. The clear favorite for Defensive Player of the Year, and already being discussed as a top 10 player. ESPN even ranked him number 5 on their top 100 list, behind only Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's high, maybe even premature, but the potential is undeniable. Before a blood clot in his shoulder ended his season, Wemby was putting up absurd numbers. 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.1 steals, and 3.8 blocks per game. Only 20 players scored more, only 7 grabbed more boards, and nobody came close to his rim protection. And the scary part? He's only getting better. This summer, Wemby trained at a Shaolin temple, worked with Kevin Garnett on intensity, and studied Hakeem Olajuwon's legendary footwork. At just 21 years old, he's healthier, stronger, and armed with more tools than ever. Year 3 is historically the breakout season for superstars. Michael Jordan averaged 37 a night in his 3rd year. LeBron James posted 31-7-7. If history repeats itself, this could be the year Wemby jumps from top prospect to face of the league. Enter De'Aaron Fox. The Spurs aren't just betting on Wemby. They doubled down with De'Aaron Fox. Despite speculation after drafting number 2 pick Dylan Harper, the Spurs never wavered on Fox as their franchise point guard. Even though injuries limited him to 17 games after the February trade, the fit was undeniable. 19.7 points, 6.8 assists for 0.3 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 threes per game. Now fully healthy, with a summer to build chemistry, Fox and Wemby form one of the league's scariest two-man combos. The pick and roll has always been Fox's specialty. In 2022-23, he ran 8.4 pick and roll possessions per game as the ball handler, scoring at an elite efficiency. Paired with Domantas Sabonis, it became one of the best two-man games in basketball. Now swap Sabonis for Wemby, a 7 feet 5 inches alien who can roll, pop, or stretch defenses at will. And you see why this duo could be unstoppable. Last year's sample was too small to matter, just 46 possessions together. But with training camp, a clean bill of health, and the right spacing, Fox and Wemby should terrorize defenses this season. The best supporting cast yet. But here's the real story. For the first time, Wemby has a complete team around him. The Spurs enter this season with a roster that blends hungry youth, prime-age wings, and steady veterans. Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle is expected to make a leap. Jeremy Sochan brings defensive grit and versatility. And Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick, adds another dynamic young guard to the mix. The Spurs also shored up their biggest weakness, frontcourt depth. Last season, the backup center spot was laughably thin. This offseason, they added 7 feet 2 inches Luke Cornett, a legit rim protector with championship experience, plus Kelly Olynyk, a veteran stretch big who shot 42% from 3 last year. Harrison Barnes joins as a reliable floor spacer, while Carter Bryant, the number 14 pick, adds more lottery talent off the bench. Then there's the pressure on Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson. Both are entering make-or-break seasons. San Antonio desperately needs consistent wing shooting. Johnson has flashed it before, 40% from deep just 3 years ago. while Vassell has the profile of an ideal third option. Smooth jumper, improved finishing, and less pressure thanks to Fox and Wemby commanding defenses. Put it all together, and San Antonio now has one of the deepest, most versatile rotations in the league. They can roll out twin towers with Wemby and Cornet, go small with Sachin at the 4, or lean into shooting with Barnes and Olenek stretching the floor. This is no longer a one-man show, but a roster with balance, competition, and real playoff potential. The expectations. So where does that leave the Spurs? After years of patience, the bar has shifted. The expectation is clear: make the postseason. It won't be easy. The Western Conference is a gauntlet. But for the first time in 7 years, San Antonio has the star power, the depth, and the coaching structure to get there. The risk, of course, is health. Wemby's frame is both his greatest strength and his biggest question mark. The Spurs will need to carefully manage his workload to avoid overuse injuries. Fox has to stay on the court too, after missing time last season. But this time, the roster is better built to absorb those hits. If healthy, the Spurs should realistically push for the 6 to 8 seed range. Their ceiling? A second-round playoff run, maybe even further if Wemby takes the MVP-level leap many expect. Their floor? A play-in team, still dangerous but not quite ready. Either way, the league has been put on notice. San Antonio isn't rebuilding anymore. They're coming. The bigger picture. And here's the terrifying thought. This might only be the beginning. Wemby stepping into the Tim Duncan role, an elite defensive anchor who can also dominate offensively, paired with Castle and Harper growing into their Parker and Manu roles. If all three hit their ceilings, you're looking at 3 top 20 caliber players on one roster. That's dynasty potential. Other teams thought they had time to figure Wemby out. They don't. The Spurs breakout is coming faster than expected. And if you're not buying San Antonio stock now, this might be your last chance before the takeoff. So hit that subscribe button for more deep dives like this. And let me know in the comments, are the Spurs a legit top 6 team in the West this season? Because ready or not, the alien invasion has arrived.